Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today we have a special book news video where we talk about 3 different categories of news. We have book delays, book announcements, and book cover reveals. I am very excited to get into all of the news today. I have 9 topics to talk about. Well, we have had a lot come out in just the last about week or two, and so why don't we begin with the first piece of news in the first category, which is book delays, the saddest of the 3 categories. Thankfully, this isn't terribly bad. This is only a small delay. The Star Wars novel The Glass Abyss, featuring Mace Windu by Stephen Barnes, has been delayed from August of this year to October this year. And that is unfortunate that it's delaying for 2 months, but then again, it's only a 2-month delay. It's not quite as bad as some delays that we've had with Star Wars books, where they've been delayed 6 months, a year, or even longer. Or even just, taken off the release schedule. So this isn't terribly bad. And actually, in some ways, it's good because it moves it off of the schedule from competing with another Star Wars novel that we'll talk about a little bit later in this video. But we also have a Star Trek novel that has been unfortunately delayed. The Star Trek novel delayed is Star Trek Strange New Worlds Asylum by Una McCormick. This is the second hardcover in the Strange New Worlds line, and unfortunately this book has been delayed from September to November. So again, another 2-month delay. So that also, we've seen ridiculous delays with Star Trek books in the past, and thankfully this is a very small one. We don't know concrete reasons for delays with either. However, I can guess that it may be reasons within publishing schedules, it may be some financial things, it might be marketing, they want to give the books more space, I don't know, but hopefully the books will still be good. So that's the unfortunate book news that we have. But if that's the worst book news, that's pretty good. We have some book announcements, which I'm super excited about. And I can't cover every book that's announced in the sci-fi fantasy categories, and I can't cover everything, so I'm trying to cover the stuff that I'm most interested in and the stuff I think my audience will be most interested in. So the first piece of book news that I'll talk about is that Terry Brooks has announced that he has a new fantasy novel in his Shannara series titled Gallifile, the first Druid, from the first Druid series to trilogy that he's starting. This book releases in March of 2025. I am very excited for a couple of reasons. One, this is the first new Shannara novel we've had since 2020, so it's been about 5 years almost by the time it releases that we've had a new novel. The second thing is this is exploring the timeline I've been most interested in Shannara. He has written the beginning of the Shannara universe and he has written the end of the Shannara universe, but he really has not written some parts in between. For instance, the time after his Bears the Black Staff duology and before the First King storyline. I've been wanting a trilogy or novels set in that storyline ever since I started reading Shannara. And this is exactly that. So I, for one, am pumped to read this book. I will for sure read it on release day or earlier. Next, we have a new secret project announced from Brandon Sanderson, the author who just can't seem to stop. And we love him for it, but we are also like, whew, that's a lot of work. Brandon Sanderson's new secret project, we believe, will be titled Isles of Emberdark. They may shorten it just to Emberdark, but right now it's Isles of Emberdark, and it will release sometime in 2025. It is going to the people who backed the Kickstarter on BackerKit first, which will, I think, also come out in 2025, and then it will be released probably through Tor or another publisher, but probably Tor later in 2025. But I'm, of course, very excited. I read all of the secret projects and reviewed them on the channel. If you want to look those up, just type in my name and the secret project title, and it'll appear in YouTube, or just type in secret projects and Jonathan Cohn, and you'll find that as well. We also have a book announcement from the author Delilah Dawson, who I am a big fan of. I've read her Star Wars novels. I've read her original YA books. I've read her thrillers and horror novels. And this is a horror thriller adult novel by Delilah. This is a novel titled It Will Only Hurt for a Moment. And this is coming from Del Rey. And this is a kind of horror thriller book, kind of a feminist horror thriller. And I'm, for one, really excited because I read her horror thriller feminist book, The Violence, and it was just a top book from the year that I read it. I loved this book. And so I cannot wait to read more. And by the way, we actually do have a cover for this one. The cover's right here. It looks pretty nice. And so that comes out in, I believe, November. Next, we have some book covers to talk about. Some book covers from the publisher Baen and from the publisher Disney Lucasfilm Press. So I'll start out with Baen, then we'll go to the Star Wars covers after that. With Baen, we had 2 covers from the same cover artist for 2 different of my favorite series. Baen, for those of you who don't know, they announce a bunch of covers all at once. They'll announce the fall quarter, like 3 months worth of covers all at once in 1 week, and then they'll wait a couple months, and then they'll announce a bunch all in 1 week. And so they just announced a bunch of cover arts, and included in that was the cover art for the 5th book in the Icarus saga by Timothy Zahn, and that book is titled The Icarus Needle, and the cover's here. This is featuring Gregory and Celine. Gregory looks a little different and wompy and weird in this book cover. I don't know why. His face is the same, but his body is so different. I'm really curious on why that is. But what I'm most excited about in this cover is that we are getting Gregory and Celine holding hands, which makes me wonder, are we going to get a romantic subplot with them? I have been wanting a romantic storyline between them since the series began, and we just haven't had that. And I'm very excited to see where this goes. This book comes out in December 2024, and I am stoked for it. One of the best science fiction series. Then we have the book Shadow of the Smoking Mountain by Howard Andrew Jones, which is coming out in October, and that cover art also by Dave Seeley here, which is just tremendous cover art. Dave Seeley, I think, is one of the best cover artists in the business, and this is from his Chronicles of Hanuvar, from Howard Andrew Jones's Chronicles of Hanuvar fantasy series, and this series I put as my favorite new series that I read last year, and I'll stick by that. I think it was amazing, and I cannot wait to read more, and this cover is just, that's how you make covers, publishers. We also have some new covers announced for Star Wars for the High Republic series for both middle grade and the YA novels. We have Beware the Nameless by Zoraida Cordova. That cover is by Peter Antonsen. Peter Antonsen did the covers for all the other middle grade books for the High Republic, and he's done a tremendous job. And it's very juvenile, which I think is a little bit limiting in adult audience appeal, but they're very consistent, which I appreciate. And this book releases August 27th, 2024. That was an August release for a Star Wars book that might have competed with that Mace Windu book, so which is probably one of the reasons why they may have moved Mace Windu to October. We also have the YA novel Tears of the Nameless by George Mann. That cover art is by Corey Brickley, and that cover art is here, and I really like this cover art. This is, I think, some really solid cover art. I think fans of all types will enjoy this cover art. This book comes out September 24th of this year, so we've got a decent amount of Star Wars coming out this year, and I'm really excited for this one. This one features Reath Silas, who fans of Phase 1 of the High Republic will automatically remember Reath Silas, and he is a very excellent character. And those two artworks, I think, work because in some ways they're very similar to other artworks we've gotten, and also in some ways different from other artworks we've gotten. And it's ironic that I think that the YA cover art has tended to be better than the middle grade cover art, but the middle grade books have been better than the YA books. I just find that interesting. So those are the various news pieces that I wanted to cover today. Obviously not all the news in publishing, but a substantial number of them. The ones that I would be most interested, and I think the ones that some of you would be very interested in as well. If you've read books in these series or books by these authors, let me know what you think of them. Are you excited for any of these books? Which piece of book news are you most interested in? Which book series do you intend to read? Let me know all those thoughts in the comments section down below. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.